Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Godzilla podcast. One more other bit of news when it comes to the Godzilla world. It's more of an indirect bit of news because it's not directly associated with Godzilla, any of the movies itself, but rather news related to a very close project that could impact the Godzilla sequel, the 2018 one. This just started yesterday, and it seems to still be permeating the internet rounds, at least until there's any official denial or confirmation from Legendary Pictures. But apparently the sequel to Pacific Rim, which is now being referred to as Pacific Rim Maelstrom, they are apparently being delayed. Like the news is that the sequel is not going to shoot later on this year as expected. It was supposed to shoot in November, so that way it could meet its August 4th, 2017 time slot. Now the news is that it's been delayed until sometime 2016. No news as to what month specifically, but overall this is not good news per se, because anytime a film is delayed, that means it's being delayed for bad reasons. Either somebody is getting cold feet with regards to making the movie. Who knows if it's Legendary Pictures themselves, because at the end of the day, while the first film did get the sequel announcement, it took about, was it till November or so of that year for the sequel to be announced, when in most franchises today you have the sequel announced like even before the film is released. So that wasn't really good news on Legendary's part to wait that long. They didn't, in other words, have that good backup automatic push saying yes, sequel coming right away. No, they had to actually stall and wait a couple of months to see the results, and then they announced it. Or it could also be something involving the creative side, i.e. Del Toro. Del Toro is infamous for taking on, I don't know, like 10 15 projects all at once. Apparently he cannot say no to any project that comes his way. And who knows if he's already maybe working on something else and it delayed the production here, or if maybe on the creative side, which tends to be common, he's pushing for like a stronger budget, like a bigger budget, because he's also known for not saying no to any small budgets. Some of his past projects, in fact, have been canceled because of the demand he has for larger budgets. And maybe he's pushing the same thing here, and Legendary Pictures is pushing back and saying no, that we're trying to curtail the budget based on the results of the first film. Overall, still, it is not good news, so we'll see how this ties into Godzilla. Is with the original date of Pacific Rim being August 4th, 2017, now that the shooting is going to be delayed until next year, there's very little chance it'll make that August 4th date, unless they really speed things through, which is not good news for the sequel anyways, because you don't want to have this kind of thing rushed. Then it'll be pushed back most likely to either Christmas, or there's a stronger chance that it'll be pushed back to 2018, which falls under the same category of the Godzilla sequel. This is actually bad news, because with these kind of films, you don't want them cannibalizing each other. You want anything involving the kaiju world and the giant monster world to have one movie per year, so that way people aren't just picking and choosing one at the sacrifice of the other. And so if this gets pushed back to 2018, that might be some of the bad news for Godzilla and somewhat bad news for Pacific Rim. But who knows? At this point, Legendary Pictures, which is curious, has not responded to any requests from all of the channels. I believe it was IGN, Dread Central, I think it was, what was the other one? Superhero Hive. I'm trying to remember some of the other major sites that they've asked, and nobody has heard a response yet, which is unusual because Legendary Pictures is pretty quick about coming out with any confirmation or denial. Proof comes from whenever the rounds are being made on the internet that Gareth Edwards might not direct the next Godzilla film, because whenever the announcement was made that he's going to do that Star Wars standalone film, on that very same day, people suddenly started thinking, oh my goodness, does that mean he's out of Godzilla 2 because of the timing and then because of the importance placed on Star Wars? It was either that very same day or the next day that Legendary Pictures came out and said, nope, he's still on board. He's not canceled. He's going to be definitely doing the Godzilla sequel. So the fact that they haven't responded yet to these news is not a good thing either. So, but what do you guys think? Could this impact Godzilla altogether? Is the Pacific Rim 2 sequel in trouble? Let us know. So, alright, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care.